episode 77 of This and That and What the Fuck Else. In this one I'll be talking about Donbass, EU and energy issues, and then I want to share some results from a hack on a popular Twitter site, and I've got my favorite, the global revolution, and then there's some green stuff to think about. The what the fuck is a reality shock. We just have to think about it. I recently had a comment on one of my videos where the guy claims that 95% of what I'm presenting is propaganda. Well, I am curious, how does he get to propaganda if most of the things that I share with you in these presentations are all accompanied by screenshots of the original source documents that I'm using, so it can be checked. So if he calls it propaganda, it's fine, but I know the guy fairly well, and he's a big CNN fan, so everything in his mind is tuned for propaganda. And that's his problem, not mine. I'm going to start off this with something that I introduced a while ago. Let's just show you this snippet or shot. It's a digital art piece. It's a combination of digital art and photography. This is the type of thing that I like a lot, and I like it mostly for the creativity. Look at it and enjoy it. And then we get to the Donbass. This is I don't know if it's a disturbing note, but there's a lot of things in here to make you think. There was an incident in the Limansk direction after several unsuccessful attempts to go on the attack. The mercenaries from among the Poles refused to tempt fate and go forward. Representatives of the national battalions came to them for analysis. The conversation did not work out and the Poles disposed of the Bandera lovers. Now there's a planned massacre between foreigners and Nazis. And it is disturbing, but it's reality. And I have mentioned it previously. I don't know what the hell is going on with the Poles. They are really looking to follow in the footsteps of the Ukraine, if you ask me. But and there's a lot of Polish mercenaries in the Donbass. Now I know that the Russians are specifically targeting the mercenaries, and they are ruthless with it. I cannot understand what these people think the outcome will be. They are fighting on the side of the Nazis, and now here you can see it. They refer to them as Bandera lovers, and they are now fighting among one another there. And then there's this image, just as a reminder, this is what the Donetsk people have to live with every day. They've been living with this for 8 years. And there was a lot of talk about the missile attacks on the Ukraine by Russia. But if you look at the analysis, none of those were targeting civilian structures or civilian buildings and things like that. The Russians don't kill civilians on purpose. The one incident that they made a big story about in Kiev, about that missile that fell in that park, eventually it was proven. It was one of the Ukraine's own air defense missiles from their S-300 systems. And here's some more from the Donbass. Devastation after dark and terrifying scenes that emerge out of the Donetsk People's Republic, where evening Ukrainian shelling tore through the streets of districts of Kirovsky, Kolbashevsky, Kievsky, Petrovsky, killing and injuring a number of people and ripping through residential areas. This is what the Ukraine army is doing. But the West turns a blind eye to this. They are deliberately targeting civilians, and they've been doing it for 8 years. But the West does not pay attention to it, and the West denies that it ever happens. But the evidence is there. And then this one was something that really got my blood boiling. I watched the video. This is a Ukrainian soldier that pulled this young boy out of his house and started roughing him up. The Nazi units of the Ukrainian army are cleaning up the local population, arresting and torturing civilians. Apparently the boy whose hands they tied in their favorite way posed a threat to the territorial integrity of the criminal regime in Kiev. It is scary. But the West don't listen to this. They don't pay attention to this. There are so many reports of civilians that tell you what they are doing. I mean, they're killing people for taking food parcels from the Russians. But the internet is cruel and vicious. And within, it wasn't an hour after this video appeared, someone posted this picture, and the soldier active in that video was identified. Now, this guy better watch out. I have seen so many posts of people like this being caught afterwards. And incidentally, I saw a video of the interrogation of one of the guys that was involved in 2014 in the burning of those people in the trade union house in Odessa. And Putin said in his speech in Valdai that those people, they know who those people are, and the Kiev government has done nothing about it, but the Russians has got their names. And then here's some more from the Donbass. Terrifying scenes that emerge out of Donetsk. And there is a person that was killed by the bombing. And then we get to the energy issues. And this one actually made me laugh. It's from Lithuania. Sales of heaters in Lithuania increased by 120% compared to 2021. And I just had to laugh. They don't have electricity. So how are they going to use those heaters? It's a joke. I spoke about this one in one of my previous Skidmarks. Just a reminder of the craziness that is running rampant in Germany. The German auction house has announced an auction where you can pay money for the destruction of Russian works of art. That is so fucking barbaric. But what can you expect? The world has lost its mind. And then there's just this little meme that the EU people should take note of. As US always stands with its allies, and look how it's stabbing Europe in the back there. And then there's this one, and it's from Prague. Tens of thousands of people in Prague today to end sanctions on Russia. Europeans don't want to starve and freeze for Zelensky and Ursula von der Leyen. It is crazy, really. But it looks like the citizens are waking up. But my personal opinion is they're waking up a little bit late. The damage has been done. And then from Garland Nixon, he's really taking the piss out of the guys lately. And you must take into consideration, this oak is a Democrat in America. The citizens of the EU Commission must either revolt against the traitors that are wiping out their economies or accept complicity in their own destruction. And that is scary. Now the following images I'm going to show you is something that happened. The New York Post, their Twitter account got hacked and these things appeared on it. I looked at it and I just laughed. Can you imagine that? Look at that, divine. Can you imagine that? And it was on Twitter. And then there was this one. I mean, this is crazy. And then there's this one. I'm not going to read this because it's going to get me into shit, but you can read it yourself. Look at that. And then there's this. This is the whole clip that appeared on Telegram. New York Post hacked outlets Twitter and website post obscene content calling for murder of US President and AOC among others. That is crazy. And then we get to my favorite topic, the global revolution. Now look at these images and look at those Russian flags and then take into consideration protesters in Haiti with Russian flags in Haiti. And more on the global revolution India backs multipolar world as trade with Russia breaks records. The former ambassador to Russia in attendance at the Valdai Discussion Club. Dialogue between India and Russia continues at the highest level. Bilateral trade is at record-breaking levels. India supports multipolar world. India wants conflict to end, but is firmly against sanctions and the collateral damage it causes across the globe. That's the reality of today. I don't think that the West is really prepared for what is coming. And then we've got this green thing. The EU set to ban new combustion engine cars within 13 years. The European Parliament and member countries have reached a deal to ban the sale of new petrol and diesel cars by 2035. I'm not going to read the rest of it, you can read the rest of it. All this actually means is by 2035, only the rest of the world, excluding Europe, will be mobile. And then there's this little info bit that you can look at, see what you see, and just smile. And the doctor says, I'm afraid it's worse than I first thought. And then we get to that, what a fuck. This is from South Africa, that is so in your face, but this is the reality. South Africa from apartheid to apocalypse, in the hands of just one entirely incompetent political party, Futsak ANC. Look at that station. This is what our railway network looks like. A first world railway network has been turned into this. I don't know where this is going to end, but from what I am seeing and from the things that I read and from what I hear, so I stick to my point. South Africa is extremely close to a collapse. This government has lost control, physical control over the country. And that's it. How are they going? They don't have the political will to stop the criminality that is destroying our infrastructure. They don't have the will for it. The only thing that can stop this is that if they catch these guys in the act, they must wipe them out, and no long, lengthy court cases. In any case, on that sad note, please hit a like, subscribe, and share the thing. Thank you for your support.